You want her to see you. You want her to notice you, not just in passing, but deeply, to look past the surface and to find the real you underneath, to see the parts you've hidden from everyone else and to love you anyway. But here's the hard truth that no one tells you. You can't be seen by someone else if you're still hiding from yourself. And that ache that you feel, the longing to actually be known, it's not wrong. It's one of the most human things about you. And we all want to be seen. We all want to be chosen. We all want to know that we matter, not because of what we can perform, but because of who we are. But real connection, the kind that you're really desperate for, it can't exist if you refuse to face yourself first. And that's where so many of us get stuck. We think that if we just find the right person, or if we're just charming enough, if we're attractive enough, maybe successful enough, then we'll finally feel like we're known. Finally, we'll feel loved. But that's not how intimacy works. You see, intimacy is not something that someone else just gives you. It's something that you offer instead. And you can only offer what you have. So if you've spent years avoiding your own reflection and numbing yourself to your fears and denying your own pain, what are you offering her then? What are you inviting her to connect with? When you won't face yourself, you aren't bringing your real self into the relationship. You're just bringing this version of yourself that's polished and curated and edited for maximum acceptability, but not the real thing. And here's the thing about intimacy. Intimacy can only exist between real people. And this is where before you touch your own heart or touch your own truth series is beginning. Because this isn't just about dating advice. This isn't just about hacks or tricks or tactics to get attention. Instead, this is about becoming someone that's capable of real connection. Someone who doesn't just want to be loved, but is ready to be loved. Flaws, fears, failures, and all of it. And the first step is facing yourself. Facing yourself is not easy though. Facing yourself means looking at the parts that you'd rather pretend don't exist. It means that you're sitting with your own shame, your own disappointment, your own brokenness, without running away. And it means that you're learning to tell the truth about who you are, and not just doing that for others, but also to yourself. And maybe the most painful part is it means letting go of the fantasy that someone else's love will fix what you are refusing to face. The truth is, no one can heal you for you. No one can rescue you from the parts of yourself that you're afraid to confront. And no one can love you into wholeness if you're committed to hiding. But here's the good news. The good news is you don't have to be perfect to be loved. You just have to be real. And in this series, we're going to walk through what it really means to touch your own truth and to build a foundation of integrity, not just in how you treat other people around you, but in how you also treat yourself. And to cultivate intimacy, not as someone, or not like something that you're demanding, but as something that you want to invite through vulnerability and through courage. So we're going to move beyond the surface, beyond the scripts, beyond the fear, because you deserve real connection. But first you have to face the person who's staring back at you in the mirror. So how do you actually start facing yourself? I mean, it sounds simple, but it's anything but easy. Most people think facing yourself means confronting all the flaws at once, diving headfirst into the mess and shaming yourself into becoming better. But that's not what real growth demands. Real self-confrontation begins with honesty, and honesty requires gentleness. Because if you can't offer yourself gentleness, then you'll never survive the truth. You'll turn away or numb out, you'll justify them or blame yourself, and you'll run. And running is exactly what kept you stuck this whole time. But facing yourself starts with small steps. Start by looking in the mirror, like literally and metaphorically. And while you do so, ask, what is it that I am avoiding? Or what am I pretending does not hurt? What am I blaming others for because it's easier than me taking responsibility for myself? And then, and this is the crucial part, instead of judging what you find, get curious about it. Curiosity is the antidote to shame. Where shame says you're bad, curiosity says you're human. Where shame says hide, curiosity says lean in. And where shame says you'll never change, curiosity says, what if you could? So start by noticing the places where you flinch. Where does your mind tend to shut down the fastest? Where do you feel the most defensive? Where are you most quick to blame or withdraw? Those flinch points aren't your enemies. They're maps, if you will. They're pointing you toward the parts of yourself that are still hurting, or the parts that are still hiding, or the parts that are still waiting for acknowledgement. And here's the truth that most people never get to. You cannot love what you refuse to acknowledge. If you want her to see you, like really see all of you, you have to be willing to first see yourself first. And that includes even the parts that make you feel uncomfortable, even the parts that you find embarrassing, even the parts that you thought that you'd outgrown. Facing yourself is not about perfection, it's about presence. It's about standing still when everything in you wants to run. It's about offering yourself the same compassion that you're desperate to receive from someone else. And it's also about practicing the kind of integrity that says, I will not perform, and I refuse to hide, and I will not shrink. Instead, I will see myself fully, honestly, without apology, because only when you see yourself can you actually offer yourself to someone else without conditions and without demands and without masks. This is the real work of intimacy. It's not just being seen, but it's also being known. Not just being loved, but also being received as well. And it cannot happen unless you're willing to go first, unless you touch your own truth before you reach for hers. And that's why we're starting at this point in this series, because everything that comes next in this series, in your relationships, in your life, it hinges on this foundational, courageous step. The courage to face yourself. And when you start facing yourself, like really facing yourself, it's at that point that you see things starting to shift. And you stop showing up in relationships with a silent plea that says, please love the parts of me that I'm too afraid to look at. And you stop needing her to complete you or to fix or validate you. And instead you come to her or to any relationship with something that's rare, and that is wholeness. Not perfection, not a polished mask, but wholeness. The kind of wholeness that says, I know who I am, and I know where I'm still growing, and I know what I bring and what I can't demand from you. That's what changes this game. Because when you face yourself, it's then that you stop outsourcing your worth. And you stop expecting her to be the mirror that you refuse to be for yourself. And you stop needing her to rescue you from your own shame. And that is the beginning of what real intimacy could be. But let's be honest. This work is hard. It's uncomfortable. It's disorienting at times. It can be lonely work because most people aren't doing it. Most people are still running from themselves and hiding behind charm and achievements and anger and distractions, anything to avoid the stillness where the truth lives. And and if you're choosing a different path, like the path of integrity or the path of intimacy, you're going to need some support. You're going to need spaces where you're not performing, spaces where you're not impressing, and where you're not having to earn your place by being perfect. You're going to need a place to practice being real. And that's why, alongside this series, I'm preparing something a bit more. I'm preparing a private course, a private community, if you will. Not a quick fix, and it's not a self-help seminar with empty promises, but a space where men who are serious about this work can meet. A place where you can walk alongside others who are done with the pretending, who are done with hiding, who are done settling for shallow connection, when what they really crave is something that's deeper and truer and realer. This course and community will be more than facing yourself. It'll be about learning how to build the kind of life, the kind of love, the kind of connection that's possible when you stop hiding. It'll be about practicing integrity and cultivating emotional literacy, and it'll be about building intimacy that is deep and lasts. Because this journey is too hard to walk alone, and you don't have to commit to walking this alone like you've been primed to. If enough of you raise your hand, if enough of you say, I'm ready, I'd like to make this a possibility. And you'll have a place to bring your full self, in a place that you'll be seen. And whether you join or not, the truth still remains that facing yourself is not optional, especially if you want real connection. It's the price of admission. It's the doorway of everything that you're longing for. And it's not too late to start. So if you want her to see you, the most important thing is for your eyes to be able to see yourself first. What if before anyone else can recognize your worth, you've already recognized it for yourself already? What if intimacy that you're craving with her or with anyone else is waiting first for the intimacy that you need to experience with yourself? Facing yourself is not sexy work. It's not glamorous. It won't get you that instant validation that others may promise. It won't give you the quick wins or the cheap dopamine, but it will give you something better. And that's a relationship with yourself that isn't based on denial. A self-respect that doesn't rise and fall with who approves of you or who doesn't. But instead, a groundedness that no rejection can steal. You see, you can't shortcut this. You can't charm your way past it. The reality is, love, like real love, demands that you bring your whole self to the table. Not a performance, not a projection, not a mask that we've been talking about, but that you bring you. And that's enough. And here's the good news. You already are enough. You already are sufficient. Not because you've achieved some arbitrary standard, not because you've perfected yourself, but because you are willing to do this work. You're willing to face yourself. You're willing to be honest. You're willing to be seen. Willing to do the work that connection requires. So this is the foundation that we'll be building on throughout this series this month. And the series again is called Before You Touch Her, Touch Your Own Truth. Because before you can love her, before you can connect with her, you have to know yourself. Before you can invite her in, you have to stop locking yourself out. And for those of you who are ready to take this beyond theory, who are ready to walk it out with others on the same journey, stay tuned, because the course and the community are coming. And if there's enough of you who are ready to step up and to show up and to finally stop hiding, the doors will open. And you'll have a space where honesty isn't punished. You'll have a space where growth is expected, where facing yourself is not the end. It's the beginning of becoming someone who is capable of love that lasts. So you want her to see you? Start by seeing yourself. And if you want her to choose you, well, start by choosing yourself first. You want real intimacy, real deep connection? Start by telling the truth to yourself first. The mirror is waiting. Are you ready to look into it? You got this.